Real-life horror stories that will keep you up at night. Some stories are so terrifying, they feel like they belong in a horror movie. But the worst kind of nightmares are the ones that actually happened. Tonight, we bring you true encounters with the unexplained, chilling moments of terror, and brush-ups with the unknown. These real-life horror stories will keep you up at night. Viewer discretion is advised. Chapter 1: The Vanishing Hotel Guest. It was a quiet evening at a small hotel in Tokyo when the night receptionist noticed something peculiar. A guest had checked in earlier that day, but had never checked out. Their key card still registered inside the room, but no response came from knocking. Growing concerned, hotel staff finally unlocked the door, only to find the room completely empty. No luggage, no personal belongings, not a single trace of occupancy. And yet, the security logs confirmed the door had never opened since the guest entered. It was as if they had simply disappeared. When the manager reviewed the hallway security footage, their blood ran cold. The tape showed the door opening, but no one had ever walked inside. Was it a glitch in reality, or something far more sinister? Chapter 2: The Phone Call from the Dead. Sarah had just lost her grandmother, a woman who had always been her protector, her safe haven. The grief weighed heavy on her, making every night restless. Then, one evening, as she lay in bed, her phone rang. She reached over, barely glancing at the screen, until she saw the name. It was her grandmother. Her breath caught in her throat. Her hands trembled as she hesitated before answering. When she finally pressed the phone to her ear, all she could hear was static. Then, a weak, whispering voice, "Don't go downstairs." A chill ran down Sarah's spine. She hung up, her heart pounding. But before she could process what had just happened, a sound echoed through the house, footsteps, creeping up from the basement. Sarah lived alone. When she finally gathered the courage to check, she found the basement door wide open, but there was no one there. And her phone? The call log showed nothing. No missed call. No record of the conversation. Alex was a college student who had recently moved into a new apartment. At first, everything seemed normal. But over time, strange things started happening. Food would go missing from the fridge. Doors would be slightly open when he was certain he had closed them. And at night, just as he was drifting off to sleep, he swore he could hear soft, rhythmic breathing that wasn't his own. One night, an uneasy feeling pulled him from sleep. He felt watched. Slowly, he turned his head toward his closet. The door, which had been fully closed before, was now slightly ajar. And inside, two faint eyes gleamed from the darkness. Paralyzed with fear, Alex bolted from his bed, grabbed his phone, and fled the apartment. When police arrived, they discovered something horrifying. A homeless man had been living in the crawl space inside the walls, sneaking out at night to steal food, and watching Alex as he slept. Chapter 4: The Shadow in the Rearview Mirror. Driving alone at night can be unnerving, but for one man, it became a nightmare. He had been driving down a deserted road when he caught a glimpse of something in his rearview mirror. A figure, dark, barely distinguishable, sitting in his backseat. His pulse skyrocketed. He swerved, nearly crashing as he slammed on the brakes. But when he turned around, nothing was there. Shaking, he reassured himself it had been his imagination. Just the trick of the light. But as he continued driving, the shadow appeared again, this time, closer. It loomed behind him, featureless, watching. He sped home, locked himself inside, and refused to leave for days. Later, he learned that multiple accidents had occurred on that very stretch of road, with survivors all reporting the same thing: an eerie, shadowy figure in their rearview mirror, just moments before they crashed. Chapter 5: The Stranger at the Window. Emily had just moved into her new home when she first noticed him. Every night, at exactly 3 a.m., a man stood outside her window. He never moved. Never spoke. Just stood there, staring. At first, she assumed it was just some weirdo, until she noticed something chilling. He never blinked. One night, determined to put an end to the harassment, she marched to the front door. Just as she reached for the handle, her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Don't open the door." Terror flooded her veins. She backed away slowly and dialed the police. When they arrived, the man was gone. But deep scratch marks were found on the outside of her window, as if someone, or something, had been trying to get in. The world is full of mysteries, some too terrifying to explain. Which of these real-life horror stories scared you the most? Have you ever had an unexplainable encounter? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoy the dark, the eerie, and the unexplained, don't forget to like and subscribe for more chilling tales.